Hello everybody, it's Riffraff Hornhelm, and I'm back again with another presentation from the Dwarven Vault, and today we have a monster review, and the monster we're going to look at is kind of a category. This is the kickoff for something that is appropriate for this season. So we're going to be talking about the Undead. Now, the Undead is going to be as it appeared in the original Monster Manual for Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, so commonly referred to as 1E, and is going to focus on creatures that can be turned by clerics or higher level paladins and things like that. And that's going to include the typical undead, as well as some low-level demons and devils, all of whom are capable of being turned by a priest, or, as I said, in some cases a paladin. As they get higher in level, they're able to do the same thing. So, some peculiarities about the undead. It's a area of Dungeons and Dragons that's very singular. Clerics are only able to potentially turn from a specific list of creatures, and nothing beyond that. And it's all based on their connection with the god that they represent as a cleric. This is an area that at the time the game came out was a bit fraught between undead, demons, and devils. This had a lot to do with the Satanic Panic. Some of you may have heard of back in the very late 70s, early 80s, when Dungeons & Dragons was considered to potentially have a very bad influence on young people because of the religious implications from some of the contents of the game. Certainly undead, devils, and demons were a large part of that. And, okay, yes, you had clerics who could offset the effects of some of these creatures, but they weren't able to really go at them on a like-for-like basis, because there was a mission from the original game, and it was purposeful at the time, and that was to have a high-level pantheon of only good characters, if you will, God and the angels. This did not further endear the game to those who thought that this was something demonic in nature or devil worshipping and so forth and so on. And that's really sad, because it's just a game. But you'll also notice that those of you who play 5e today, if you look at what's in the original Monster Manual and compare that to, say, Devils and Demons and some Undead at least, in the current game, those have morphed considerably, and a lot of that was to get away from the religious implications on that side. So I'm talking about the undead. There are various levels of undead within the game, and each is progressively more difficult to turn, and typically will have a more significant arsenal of nasty tricks and effects that go along with it. Obviously, it varies quite a bit over the pantheon of undead that are out there. You have some very simple undead, like say skeletons or zombies or ghouls, and you also have some very high level undead, things like a lich or even a ghost or a vampire. All of these are very high level and difficult creatures to win against in a fight. And turning doesn't necessarily solve everything for undead. I mean, your average cleric certainly is going to be successful against lower level ones, but it's a roll for the higher ones. And if they miss it, they don't stop anything. You also have a problem with distance for effect and the number of creatures that you can potentially affect at one time. Turning is a great way of keeping your party safe and healthy, and certainly a cleric has a lot of other things that they do on behalf of your party, but the ability to turn undead is really, really wrapped up in them unless you have a paladin in the party. Once again, 1E, okay? So don't get this confused with 5E. But that's what you really need to survive against undead in numbers back in the early game. So this particular series of reviews is going to cover those undead creatures, those that are turnable within the context of the original Dungeons and Dragons. I think you'll find it interesting, or at least I hope you do. And we'll certainly be ranking them as we talk to the greater Hornhelm community for both DMs and for actual players. Well, many are both, most are both. I can't think of anybody who isn't now that I think about it. But we will get you some input on that side of what we find being difficult running into, and hopefully help your understanding of how undead at least worked within the context of the original game. So that's where we're going to go. I hope you found this interesting and informative. We will have reviews coming on a regular basis as we chew through the very large list of undead creatures as shows in the game. And of course, Halloween's coming up in the future here, so it all seems to align well. Hope you enjoyed this today. If you did, leave us a like, drop us a comment, share with your friends. Come back and see us again real soon. We very much appreciate your kind support, and we look forward to seeing you again on another episode here from the Dwarven Vault. Take care, everyone, and remember, dwarves rock!